starting from zero. Valeria was an accountant in Argentina. She worked in a big office, wore professional clothes, and helped businesses manage their money. She had studied for many years and was proud of her job. One day, her husband received a job offer in the United States. It was a great opportunity, but it also meant leaving everything behind: her family, her friends, and her career. After many discussions, they decided to move to Los Angeles for a better future. At first, the city felt exciting. There were tall buildings, busy streets, and bright lights everywhere. But soon, Valeria realized that life in the U.S. was not easy. She and her husband rented a small apartment in an old building. It was in a busy neighborhood, full of noise from cars and people. The walls were thin, and she could hear their neighbors arguing sometimes. It was not the home she dreamed of, but it was all they could afford. Valeria had a 6-year-old daughter named Camilla. She loved school and was learning English quickly. At home, she spoke Spanish to her mother, but at school she spoke English with her friends. Sometimes, she corrected Valeria's pronunciation. "Mommy, it's sandwich, not sandwich," Camilla said one evening. Valeria smiled. "You are my little teacher." But inside she felt embarrassed. Even her daughter spoke English better than she did. Valeria needed a job, but her diploma from Argentina was not accepted. "You must study again," people told her. But college was expensive, and her English was not strong. In Argentina, she was a respected professional. In the U.S., she felt invisible. Her husband did not want her to work. "We can make it on my salary, Valeria," he said one evening. "Eduardo, please understand, Los Angeles is too expensive. We need 2 salaries." They agreed that she would look for work. After weeks of searching, she found a job in a small cafe. She had never worked in a restaurant before, but she needed money. Her first day was difficult. The menu had many words she didn't know, and the customers spoke too fast. She mixed up orders, dropped a cup of coffee, and felt embarrassed. The manager, Mr. Lewis, was strict and did not have patience for mistakes. Every night, Valeria came home exhausted. Her feet hurt from standing all day. Her hands smelled like coffee, and her apron was always stained. The worst part was the language barrier. Her husband comforted her. "Don't worry, honey, you're doing the best you can," he would say. One night, a customer asked, "Can I get a refill?" Valeria hesitated. She did not know the word refill. She looked at the cup and guessed, more coffee?" The customer sighed. "Yes, that's what I said." Valeria felt small. She wanted to cry, but she forced herself to smile. After work, twice a week, Valeria went to an evening English class at the community center. She was always tired, but she knew she had to learn. Her teacher, Mrs. Copper, was patient and kind. The class was full of people like her, workers, immigrants, parents, all trying to learn English. One evening, Mrs. Copper wrote a quote on the board. "The best and most beautiful things in life cannot be seen or touched. They must be felt with the heart." Helen Keller. Valeria thought about those words. She could not see her future clearly yet, but she could feel hope in her heart. She practiced speaking as much as possible. She learned new words and tried using them at work. One day, a customer said, "You're getting better at English." It was a small moment, but it gave Valeria confidence. Over time, things slowly changed. One of her co-workers, Rosie, who was from Brazil, encouraged her. She told Valeria, "You are starting a new life. It's okay to start small." Valeria decided to learn more every day. She wrote new words in a small notebook and practiced them at home. Every morning before work, she repeated phrases in the mirror. "Good morning. How can I help you? Would you like sugar or cream? Here's your total. Thank you." She also learned how to move faster. She memorized the menu and studied the coffee machine. The first time she made a perfect cappuccino, she felt proud. But there were still challenges. Some days, customers were rude. They complained if their food took too long. One man snapped his fingers at her and said, "Miss, I don't have all day." That night, Valeria cried again. "I worked so hard to be an accountant, and now people treat me like I am nothing," she thought. But she refused to give up. She remembered why they had moved to the U.S. for a better future. One day while working at the cafe, a man noticed her. He watched as she took orders quickly and organized the register. After paying for his coffee, he said, "You're very organized. Have you ever worked with money?" She smiled and said, "Yes, I was an accountant in Argentina." The man owned a small business and needed help with accounting. A week later, he offered Valeria a part-time job. It was not her dream job, but it was the first step. Camilla is growing up and speaks perfect English. Their apartment is still small, but it feels like home. It is full of books, laughter, and dreams for the future. Valeria started from zero, but she is not the same person she was before. She is stronger, and she believes in herself. Because sometimes, starting over is not the end. It is a new beginning. Questions to ponder. 1. How do you think Valeria felt about leaving her successful career in Argentina to start over in Los Angeles? 2. What challenges did Valeria face in her new life, and how did she deal with them? 3. Why do you think learning English was important for Valeria's future? 4. How did working at a cafe help Valeria adjust to her new life? 5. If you were in Valeria's position, what steps would you take to rebuild your career in a new country?